I'm not going to chase after someone who isn't sure about me. Your silence isn't weakness. It's a power move. It's showing them that you're secure enough in who you are to not need constant reassurance. It's demonstrating that you're not afraid to be alone, that you're comfortable in your own company. That kind of confidence is rare and it's magnetic. It draws in the right people and it repels the wrong ones. In the quiet, you're reclaiming your narrative. You're showing them that you're not an option to be picked and put down at their convenience. Your time, your attention, and your love, they're valuable. And you're no longer giving that away for free. When they pull away, it's natural to want to close that gap and to bridge the distance and make things right. But sometimes the best thing you can do is choose yourself. And instead of running after them, run toward your own healing and your own growth. Decide that you're no longer going to make someone a priority who treats you like an option. Choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's self-preservation. It's recognizing that your needs, your happiness, and your peace come first. It's deciding that you're not going to settle for breadcrumbs when you deserve the whole meal. It's making a promise to yourself that you won't compromise your self-worth for someone who doesn't see it. This is your moment to choose differently. To say that I love myself enough to let go of what isn't serving me. Because at the end of the day, the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. And when you choose yourself, you teach others how to treat you. You set the standard. You show them that you won't settle for less than you deserve. When someone distances themselves, they unknowingly give you a gift, and that gift is time alone. It's a chance for you to reconnect with yourself and to remember who you were before they entered your life. So many times we get lost in relationships and we're prioritizing someone else's needs above our own. But when they pull away, it's a reminder to put yourself first again. Use this time wisely. Revisit the things that bring you joy and the hobbies that you might have pushed aside, the dreams that you might have put on hold. It's your time to rediscover what makes you happy, what makes you truly happy without needing validation from someone else. You have a unique opportunity to pour into your own cup and to nurture your passions and focus on your growth. Don't waste this time waiting on their return. Use it to make yourself better, stronger, and happier. Being alone isn't the same thing as being lonely. In fact, some of the greatest moments of growth happen in solitude. And you realize that you are complete on your own, that you don't need someone else to come in and fill the gaps in your life. And when you reach that level of self-love, you will become unstoppable. Detachment doesn't mean that you stop caring. It means that you stop controlling. It's about letting go of the need to manage the outcome and to force things to go a certain way. Detachment is a superpower because it allows you to step back and let things unfold naturally. You give space for the truth to reveal itself. When they distance themselves, practice detachment. And it's not easy, but it's definitely necessary. Instead of clinging to the idea of what could be or what should have been, detach from those expectations and detach for the need for closure or answers. Detach from your fear of losing them, because the true power lies in your ability to walk away without losing your sense of self. Detachment doesn't mean that you don't care. It means that you care more about your peace than holding on to something that isn't certain. It's in that kind of quiet confidence of knowing that what's meant for you will never pass you by. And it's trusting that God has a better plan. And even if you can't see it right now, just breathe and let go and trust the process. Closure is something that we often crave when someone distances themselves. We want that final conversation. We want that explanation to make every action make sense. But here's the hard truth. Closure is rarely found in their words. It's found in your decision to move on without it. Seeking closure from someone who has already shown you who they are is a very dangerous game, and it only keeps you stuck. And you're always going to be waiting for an answer that you may never get. Instead of looking for closure outside of yourself, find that within. Close that chapter on your terms. Accept that sometimes people leave without giving a reason. It's not your job to make sense of their choices. It's your job to protect your peace and move forward, even when the ending is messy and unfinished. Closure isn't something that they can give you. It's a gift that you give to yourself when you decide to stop looking back. When you realize that their silence is an answer in itself, you take your power back. You stop needing their validation and you start validating your own worth. You let go, not because you got the explanation you wanted, but because you deserve to be free. There is nothing more powerful than a woman who knows when to walk away. It takes courage to leave when you're still in love with somebody and when you still have that hope. But it's in that moment that you find the strength. When you choose yourself over the potential of what could be, that's when you show your true power. You show that you're not afraid to be alone, that you'd rather walk away than to settle for less. Walking away doesn't mean that you don't care. It means that you care more about your self-respect. And it's a statement that you send out to the world and to those around you that you know your worth and that you refuse to accept anything less than you deserve. It's a declaration that your love is valuable and you're not going to waste it on someone who doesn't appreciate it. Remember this. The right person won't make you feel like you have to chase them. They won't leave you questioning where you stand with them. They'll meet you with that same energy, that same effort, and that same love. And if they can't do that, then walking away isn't a loss. It's a gain. Gaining back your time, your energy, and your peace. And it's choosing yourself over the uncertainty of someone else's intentions. Letting go is one of the hardest things that you can ever do, but it's also one of the most beautiful. It's that moment that you decide that your peace is more important than holding on to someone who isn't holding on to you. It's the realization that you can't force someone to stay and that their distance isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their choices. Letting go isn't about forgetting about them or pretending that the love wasn't real. It's about accepting that their part in your story has come to an end. And it's about releasing the grip you had on what could have been, and you're choosing to embrace what is. It's about choosing to focus on the future instead of clinging to the past. Think of it like a chapter in a book. You can't move on to the next chapter if you keep rereading the last one. So let go, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Let go because you deserve to experience the fullness of life without the weight of what didn't work out. Trust that what's meant for you is still on its way. And by letting go, you're making space for something better. Acceptance is the key to finding freedom when someone distances themselves. It's accepting that you can't control their actions, that you can't change their mind, and that their choices are theirs to make. Acceptance doesn't necessarily mean that you're okay with what happened. It means that you're no longer fighting against it. When you accept the reality of the situation, you free yourself from the endless cycle of questioning and replaying every single moment. You release the need to understand why they pulled away, and instead, you choose to focus on what you can control, your own response. Acceptance is your path to peace. It's your way of saying, I trust this journey even when I don't understand it. There's this lightness that comes with acceptance. It's a feeling of release. And it's the moment that you stop clinging to what was and you start opening yourself up to what could be. It's freeing yourself from the past and stepping into the present with open arms. Accepting isn't giving up. It's letting go of the struggle and choosing peace over pain. Distance isn't just a time to wait, it's a time to reflect. And it's a moment for you to look inward, to ask yourself those tough questions that you may have been avoiding. Why do you feel so shaken by their absence? What wounds from your past are being triggered by this distance? Use this time to understand your patterns and your fears and the areas where you still need to heal. Self-reflection is so uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It's the only way to break free from the cycles that keep you stuck. So maybe their silence has brought up some of those old feelings of abandonment or rejection, and maybe it's highlighted those insecurities that you didn't realize were still there. Whatever comes up, face it head on. This is your chance to do the inner work and to heal the parts of yourself that have been waiting for your attention. Remember, the goal isn't to become perfect, none of us are, but it's to become more aware. The more you understand about yourself, the less power anyone else can have to make you feel small. Self-reflection is your tool for growth, and it's your way of transforming pain into wisdom. It's the bridge that takes you from feeling lost to finding yourself again. It might sound counterintuitive, but try to find gratitude in this experience. Be thankful for those lessons and for the moments of clarity that the distance brought you. Even if it feels painful right now, remember that growth often comes through discomfort. This situation is teaching you something valuable about yourself, about what you need, and about what you will no longer accept. I'm learning that gratitude shifts your perspective from being a victim to a victor. So instead of focusing on what you've lost, focus on what you've gained. You've gained a deeper understanding of your worth. You've gained a clearer sense of your boundaries and a stronger connection to your inner voice. This is a time to be grateful, not for the pain, but for the clarity that follows it. When you choose gratitude, you shift that energy. You stop seeing their distance as a rejection and you start seeing it as a reflection and a redirection. It's God's way of guiding you away from what's not meant for you and then aligning you to what is. Thank them silently for that experience and for those lessons learned and for the chance to elevate yourself. Gratitude turns pain into power. Trust the journey. Trust the journey. That's a phrase that we hear often, but it holds so much truth. When someone distances themselves, it's easy to feel like you're lost and like you're wandering without any direction. But the reality is you're exactly where you're meant to be. Every twist, every turn, every moment of uncertainty is a part of your path. It's leading you towards somewhere and something better, even if you can't see it right now. Trust that what's meant for you won't miss you. It might be delayed. It might look different than what you expected, but it's on its way. The distance that you're experiencing right now is just a chapter in your story. It's not the whole book. So trust that God has a plan for you, and it's one that's far greater than anything you could ever imagine. Trust that the silence isn't a punishment. It's a preparation for something more aligned. Your job isn't to have all the answers. It's to keep moving forward with faith, to keep believing that better things are coming. You've survived everything up until this point, and you'll survive this too. Let go of the need to control and trust the process. The journey might be challenging, yes, but the destination will be worth it. You got to stay strong, keep your head up, and remember that what's meant for you will never pass you by. You are enough just as you are. And as you navigate this season of silence and distance, remember that you are enough. Their decision to pull away from you doesn't diminish your worth. It doesn't make you any less valuable. You are whole, you are complete, and you are deserving of love even when they don't see it. The right person will recognize your value without hesitation. They will meet you with the same energy, the same effort, and the same love. You don't need to chase. You don't need to beg, and you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You are already enough. Stand firm in your truth, in your power, and know that you are worthy of a love that stays, a love that doesn't waver or pull away. Trust yourself, trust the timing, and trust that what's meant for you is already on its way. And until then, continue becoming the best version of yourself because you're worth it. If this video resonated with you, give it a big thumbs up, share it with someone who you know really needs to hear it, and I will see y'all in the next one. There's more to come. Thank y'all so much for supporting. Love y'all. See you in the next one. Bye.